big games.
I wasn't sure if your eyes were on him because you can't miss him.
No.
He's 6'7", remember that. I won't stop saying that until he gets eliminated from the Champions League. Let us know at home who you are supporting today here in the Champions League. We want to hear from you in the Twitch chat, and we'll be plucking up some of your comments on the live stream today. Who are you backing? Remember, we've got 4 rounds of action coming your way. 16 players in action. 8 can only make it to the finals on the 29th of May here in London in our $280,000 eChampions League, where one player will walk away with $75,000 in just a couple of weeks' time. PHZIN kicking from left to right in that Ajax strip. It's his first time in an eChampions League. It was part of his game plan of why he moved over to Europe this year after extended his Ajax contract till 2025 after a really strong performance last year at the World Championships. He thought, I want a taste of the Champions League, Tom, and he's come over to Europe. He's won the FC Pro Open, and he's won the Eredivisie. Yeah,
it's one of the biggest tournaments of the whole year, so I don't blame him for wanting to get involved, and I think he's already shown how good he is here. It could be the first goal.
Henry tucking and diving a few tackles there, which are coming his way from Nicolas Soule. Drogba back to Toni Kroos again. Where's he going to look to try and thread the needle? This is PHZIN still very much in control. Cannot forget he's only 20 years old, and what he's already achieved in his pro career is unbelievable. Cancelo recycles that one well. And MONTAXER at the moment, Grav, just sucking up the pressure.
I mean, the press after possession loss at the moment for PH is strong in this corner. No, it's not as strong as his press, but I mean, he lost possession twice, but he recovered it so quick, Tom.
Yeah, it's non-stop pressure, and I think this is the way the top players play. The guys that can put pressure on the ball at all times, make you feel squeezed, and they have moments like this where it feels like you can't win, you can't get out, and I think that level of pressure pays in the end. So PHZIN can keep doing this. He's going to be on to a winner, but I think it's a real feature of all the top players. You see the way they press, it's hard to get out.
I mean, you used to press like that this is good.
Mbappe back to Andrea Pirlo, someone that Richard Buckley and yourself, Tom, were talking heavily about before the show started. Lofted into Drogba, there's that typical head down into Henry. Might fake the shot once or twice. Still PHZIN, times it green. Needs a big save from Donnarumma. And the Brazilian is just pulling apart MONTAXER from left to right and stretching the defence, trying to find a way through. Still in possession now. Pirlo, Mbappe, Modric into Henry. It's perfect football from the Brazilian. Jogo Bonito, PHZIN.
That is outrageous. Just out of the 10 minutes of pressure that he had before that, he's having to be so switched on defensively, and you're going to crack at one point. You can't withstand. Look, he's at it again.
And this is where it gets tough, isn't it, Tom? Because he's sort of got you in like a hold, and you can't breathe, you can't keep the ball, you're under so much pressure. How do you just sort of regain a bit of composure in these moments?
If I'm MONTAXER, maybe a tactical pause just to slow it down. I think we saw MONTAXER start slowly yesterday as well against Mali. And I think if you ask any of the top pros who they play against, they can tell you the best player is, and they'll always say, his pressure was so good, I just couldn't get out. I think all the best players will do it. So if I'm MONTAXER, I'm taking a pause, relaxing, just not even changing tactics yet, just having a thought, because the first 16 minutes have been tough, and then just getting your head back in it.
I can agree to that because, I mean, Tom, I played against you 2020 a lot of times, lost all of them, and I could say I couldn't get out of my box. I mean, it's just like the constant pressure was too much.
Thank you, Grant. I'm blushing. I'm blushing. But yeah, it's always the top players, the way they play.
Just looking at the chat as well, loads of love coming through from PHZIN. He has been the talk of the town this year in the FC Pro scene. I mean, it comes from that grand final, Gravison, doesn't it, against Anders Vergan. What an ending it was, and you sort of felt like if anyone wasn't taking PHZIN seriously, they were after that final. Yeah,
especially after that last goal, last kick of the game. The celebration, again, against Anders, which was really good, was entertaining, and that's what we want to see in competitive FC, really. Celebrations, big goals, and the handshake as well when the match ended.
I mean, that's how you announce yourself at the top level, right? You beat Anders and do that.
PHZIN looking for a second. Drogba finds Modric, Mbappe recycles well into Andrea Pirlo, Nicolas Soule,
and the fullback as well. You can defend better. I mean, you did it in EPRAM in the group stage. Your defense was impressive, and I think people at home that might struggle with defending could probably use one of those formations because you defend better.
Yeah, whenever I'm struggling defensively, it's usually from wide positions. So that's why I have a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-4-1-1 like Johnny, where you can use your right midfielder and left midfielder to defend. And I think it is really helpful because they're not as exposed for, you know, we see a lot of overlapping fullbacks at the minute. You see how high Cancelo is there. I think if you can have a winger to then come back and help you, it's really helpful.
Well, when we left this game, there was actually a massive 2-0 for PHZIN now.
Good work with Pedri. Gets the ball back. Now, probably, I mean, you asked before, Brandon, what do you have to do when you're playing against a opponent like this? First thing you got to do, hug the sideline as a tactic for sure, to try to look for this switch of plays. And then I think you, in a way, mentally, you have to stop respecting your opponent. You have to start looking for these passes, the Modric into Mbappe pass, this pass as well, because if not, he'll just keep pressing.
Well, we're going to see the first real chance of this game created by MONTAXER. Does he do enough to pickpocket him? Cafu tried. I mean, you speak about respect and earning respect, Tom. Both these two players did win their leagues to get to this stage in the FC Pro circuit. Obviously, Eredivisie champion, and more so for MONTAXER. Going to France from Italy, played in the Serie A last year, said, no, I want to set myself a new challenge. And he went and played with Fuma, which is a big hole to fill.
It's a massive, massive show of MONTAXER's confidence to say, right, I'm going to go to E-Ligue and play with the best player who's won it 3 years in a row, because I know I'm good enough to go and join him and do that. I think, yeah, it shows the confidence he has.
And play really well, as he did. Saw some love coming in the chat there as well for Johnny, getting lots of support. Remember, he went unbeaten in the virtual Bundesliga, which he did win for SC Paderborn. It was quite the season for the German football club there. They won the club championship and the individual virtual Bundesliga too. Everyone's saying that PHZIN is the favourite. Knocks it down. Here's Didier Drogba, PHZIN.
Good defense.
Stopped in his way.
Good player switch manually by Sule. And now he has to go forward. We have the French people in the chat as well. Ale Dilo. We have everyone watching from all over the world.
As we said, remember, 2 games played at the same time throughout this round of 16. Only 8 will make it through to the Champions League knockouts on the 29th of May. I'd like to see the stats at half-time if we can between this game, because I don't think MONTAXER's been even out to have a single shot, gents.
No, not really. I don't think maybe that Cafu chance when he tried to recover the ball, but that wasn't a shot. So, yeah, no shots. Maybe this one?
Gavardio into Drogba. Speaking about chances for MONTAXER, it is a shot, but it's blocked.
You think, Tom, he's not committing to the press? MONTAXER, I mean, like he's going, but he's not pressing really.
Yeah, it's like, do you believe in yourself? Do you really think you're going to make it? I think that shot as well signals a bit of doubt. The way he just pulled it, I think sometimes when you're confident and you're playing well, you know exactly what your next move is. And you see with his shot, he kind of just snatched it as it came in the box. Oh, do you want to get a shot? I haven't had one yet. I'm struggling to get in the box. I think, yeah, right now PHZIN's got this game exactly where he wants it.
Added time of no time being brought into this one. And that should do us for the halfway point in this eChampions League up the round of 16 game. PHZIN had an electric start, and to be brutally honest, he is. It's over 6-0 down.
There's a reason why PH is probably the best player in the world right now, because he dominates everything. He dominates press, he dominates build-up, he dominates the set pieces as well. And in my opinion, for me, the thing that he does better than most of the players is dribbling. His dribbling is out of this world. I don't know if he does it with R1 pressed, L1 pressed, but the dribbling is just so precise.
I think he's the closest thing we've got to a robot in this space, honestly. Like, he's so perfect in all of his movements, everything he does. I'm trying to see any faults in his game as I'm watching here, and there just doesn't seem to be any.
Well, I've just seen a quite enjoyable Twitch comment coming. I'll give it a read in a second, as PHZIN could be on for a second. Toni Kroos might look to try and turn his man with that road to the final knockout item that's been upgraded again for the final time. Cancelo. What are you doing, PHZIN, around there? It's the box, finds Toni Kroos. Punches it into Thierry Henry. Will look to drop the shoulder on 1 or 2 defenders. Still Modric now. Lofted it into Drogba in the air. He misses him completely. And a chance for MONTAXER to get back in possession. I've just seen this comment come in. Why are Tom and Gravison not playing in the tournament? Is there age limits, or do they just not qualify? Guys, what was there an age limit on the tournament, or?
I'm pretty sure we're just bad at the game. That's just it. Age limits, come on. Tom, we're both 25, 26?
25, yeah.
Yeah, we're not that.
MONTAXER
We're not that old. Come on. We still can play.
I wanted to give our people a chance this tournament, you know. It's tough.
That's the right answer.
No, I didn't qualify this year, so it got me a grab on comms instead.
How important is it, Tom, that this scoreline is only 1-0 still for MONTAXER, bearing in mind how dominated he's been? Yeah,
I think he starts to take confidence now. I think first 20 minutes, it could have easily been 3. And now you're looking at the clock going, you know, it's only 1. And I think the main thing MONTAXER needs to do is something different. He needs to upset the rhythm. PHZIN's rhythm is just there right now.
How do you break the rhythm?
Like this. Do it here.
Modric. Oh, my company. We have had, I hear, a goal in the other game between Johnny and Kurtadila. We'll give it to you as soon as we can. I heard a huge roar on the opposite side of the stage here in the eCHAMPIONS League. It was 0-0 for so long in it. We'll find out which way it's gone as soon as we can. Tony Cruz. PHZIN.
The dribbling is just too good. You cannot get the ball off him. Come on.
Just finding the perfect way around. Mbappe's had to get back to front.
We see a lot of that playing into the space. A lot of the through balls, using a long ball pass to win the penalty and then tucks it away well. But going back to MONTAXER, Brandon, with upsetting the rhythm, it even needs to be a personnel change by making subs, a formation change, a change in mentality, the way you play. Maybe you have to play a little bit different to what you have, because right now PHZIN's got his feet up saying, anything you do, I'm reading it like a book, no problems. So I think he's got to try and do something different. Otherwise...
Lofted into Drogba! Otherwise you could be 2-0 down.
Exactly that, Brandon. PHZIN with a corner as well.
Let's see what he's good at from these corners. Whips it in. Donnarumma gets a hand on it. Remember, winner of this game plays the winner of our other matchup. So it would be Johnny against PHZIN on the 29th of May in our quarter-final. Here in the eCHAMPIONS League. Remember, so many big games coming your way. Still 6 more matches later on today as well, with the likes of Manu Shaw in action, Matthias Banana, Levi David. Di Fernandez comes back, neat. And Kante of PSG, Cancelo, Pedri, this is your chance, MONTAXER! He hasn't had a sniff throughout the game. But the Italian only needed 1 real chance. He timed that one green, and by God, he didn't get it wrong, did he?
This reminds me of the game against Marley. I mean, the build-up is really good. Pedri with a nice finish. But this reminds me of the game against Marley. He wasn't playing well, but he's alive in the match.
Yeah.
You're suffering because you're not going forward, but I think in those matches you gotta survive. And it's not easy at all to be just suffering inside your box, but then not conceding goals in a way, and you're alive in the match. And this is what happened with MONTAXER.
It's a skill, you know, to not be 3 or 4 down the way he has. We've seen it against Marley, could have been out of sight. PHZIN could have been out of sight here. And MONTAXER really good with a player lock. Use it there again. And I'd expect to see it here at one point.
Drogba, and it could have been 2 in quick succession.
It's a very slight movement with a player lock, just to make sure his player's in the exact right position to then play the next pass. It's smart what MONTAXER does. I'd love to have another look at it when we get the chance. But small little movements go a long way.
Well, PHZIN is back to you, my friend. What have you got for MONTAXER? Maybe an attack now, lofted into Drogba. Nicolas Soler does enough to clear the ball out. As we hear, there's been more action in that John. Season to remember. Are they on their way to an eCHAMPIONS League final in his first ever eCHAMPIONS League? Pedri finds Mbappe, saved by Donnarumma, out he goes for a corner.
Must have figured it out. I think sometimes in a game it takes you a while to figure out what people do, how they play, and then once you've got it, you feel that level of confidence.
Oh, that was quick.
MONTAXER looks to have done it again. He was chasing against Brighton of Albion just 24 hours ago.
Yesterday, where he goes short and then player locks a near post, a new variation of a corner that I haven't actually seen very often. And I'm surprised if PHZIN hasn't been told about that. We've seen that numerous times now, where he's played it short and then smashed it into the near post before you can blink and scores. You've got to get out to the short and stop him doing it.
Well, is this game about to completely flip on its head? PHZIN is a mentality monster. Look at the finals he's won. Look at the finals he's played this year, the biggest games. The Eredivisie final that went to penalties, a 90+2 corner which he equalised for Ajax. That final against Anders Vergang. As MONTAXER now got the control, or the ice, to try and see out this last 50 minutes. This is going to be a very long 50 minutes. We must remind you, 9-minute halves we are playing in the eCHAMPIONS League, as we have throughout this whole FC Pro season. And he's going to come back flying at you. Poor pass there from Beasley. It was the hero left back that looks like he's come up. MONTAXER looking to have a running race here. I mean, Grav, how do you see this one out? Do you try and get another goal, or?
For sure, you gotta go for it.
Mbappe, lovely little ball roll, scoop turn, lots of love for MONTAXER coming in from home. Travella comes in, corner again. Remember, MONTAXER just scored from a corner minutes ago.
Same one. This is good.
Can he turn, step over, exit into an eye? MONTAXER! Bellissimo! He could be on his way to an eChampions League top 8. And the eChampions League looks to just continue to provide all the shocks.
Oh. Que cosa bella. Especially, you know, he worked.
He won from here. I think MONTAXER is going to win, but that goal, high on confidence, really, really composed. We've seen a couple of them yesterday as well. I like it a lot. The extra bit of composure at the end.
Well, PHZIN, he's back to you. 8 minutes to pull off an eChampions League masterclass. And it comes back to that same conversation we're having, Tom, about how important it was that MONTAXER was only just 1 goal behind in the tie. He was always in it. Taking minutes out of the game. I said to you, Grav, what does MONTAXER need to do? Go and get another goal? He's just gone and done that.
Yeah, and he's going for another one. I mean, he's not in a hurry for sure, but he's gonna go for it. Because Tom talked about this yesterday. If you just manage to just get a hold of the ball and try to go for another one, your opponent is just losing time, really.
This is where he has to be perfect now. Sergino Dest lofts it in to Drogba. Can he have the time? PELA, one more into Beasley. He's not the player you want there. He timed the finish green.
Corner.
Drogba, this is your time to step up. Cancelo of all players back to defend it.
Oof, and this is gonna be probably his last chance. He has to get the ball quick. If he doesn't, he's gonna be out of the competition.
You cannot argue against the form that MONTAXER's also been on this year. It was sort of his announcement last year to the FCC when he placed well at the World Championships, got himself, of course, into those late knockout rounds. Just this year has won the E-League 1 in France, qualified for the World Championships, and he is 1.5 minutes away from sending out the South American player himself that has not dropped a game here in the Champions League. He has now. Back to Toni Kroos. The Italian job is complete.
Wow.
Wow.
What a comeback. From 1-0 down, we're all sitting here saying this is all PHZIN dominance. And MONTAXER, he's done it again, this second half performance. It seems like he adjusts to his opponent, works out what they're doing, and then plays his game from there. He's been sensational last 30 minutes.
PH is out of the competition, Brandon. He's out.
We sit there at half-time as Richard Buckley broke down the game. I wouldn't think that in 45 minutes' time, Grav, I'd be sitting in this scenario.
But it happened. Now, one of the favorites to win the whole thing is out. I mean, you can never count players out of the ECL because now PH is out of the competition.
Full-time result, PHZIN eliminated from the eChampions League. MONTAXER, first player through to the top 8 in a season to remember.